In this presentation, we will learn the simple method of solving the media planning paper, which is why I've named it Solve the Media Planning Paper with Me. Kindly note that this is just a sample question paper, just for us to understand how to answer the board exam paper. Our paper is of 2.5 hours with a total marks of 75. The important notices that are given to you are all questions are compulsory, which means your paper has 5 questions. All 5 questions need to be answered. Each question is of 15 marks. So 15 into 5 will give you 75. Use of a calculator is permitted as you have the case study as well as the sums to be solved. However, cellular phones are not allowed. As I always recommend media planning students, question 2 is a good way to start your paper because you definitely know the numericals and the sums are straightforward and easy. So attempting the sums first is always good. So if you start your paper with question 2 part A, which is of 8 marks, is usually the media 1, media 2 sum. So let's solve the sum together. We have our details here in the question. For media 1 and media 2, they have given us reach, frequency, AEC and TPC. What we're looking for is percentage TA, GRP and CPRP. So as you already know and you've studied in class, GRP equals to reach into frequency. Therefore, for media 1, it was 40 into 12, which gives us 480. For media 2, GRP, reach into frequency, is 30 into 10, which gives us 300. CPRP equals to budget or TPC upon GRP. Now that we found GRP, we can solve this. So we divide the two. In the same way, for media 2, we find the CPRP. And finally, we find the third component, which is percentage TA. So our formula is AEC upon CPRP. CPRP you just found. Divide the two and you have your answer. 2 digits after the decimal point. I usually recommend doing media 1 and media 2 as a sum. You also have the choice with the GBT sum because this is easier. However, the choice is yours. I've put the question for you in a different color so that you see it while you solve the sum. So frequency is our formula, number of people into number of times upon total number of people. So we have 15,000 people multiply by seeing the ad 6 times plus 35,000 people who see the ad 4 times plus 10,000 people who see the ad 2 times divided by total number of people. So our total number of people are 15 plus 35 plus 10,000, which gives us 60,000. So when we add the amount on top and the denominator and divide the two, our answer is 4.16. Therefore, frequency equals to 4.16. The next thing we look for is reach percent. The formula for that is number of people reached upon the universe. The universe is already given to us. It's the total number of people, so that is 1,20,000. And the number of people reached are the number of people who see the ad. So in our question, we have 15,000 people plus 35,000 plus 10,000. Now, once we add that and divide it by 1,20,000, we get 50%. So therefore, our reach is 50%. We will now calculate reach thousands. The formula is reach thousands equals to number of people reached upon 1,000. Therefore, number of people will be 15,000 plus 35,000 plus 10,000 divided by 1,000, which will be equal to 60,000 divided by 1,000, which gives us our answer as 60. The next step is to find out GVT formula. GVT equals to reach thousands into frequency. We just found our each thousands, which was 60, and our calculation for frequency, which gave us 4.16. Multiplying the two, we get 249.6. So our GVT is 249.6. We then look for the CPT, or cost per thousand, which equals to total budget upon GVT. Our total budget as given to us, or total cost of advertising rather given to us, is 45,000 in the question. Divide by the GVT we just found, which is 249.6, which gives us 180.28. Two numbers after the decimal is more than enough. So after the decimal point, just write two digits. Question 2b is again an easy average frequency calculation. Find the average frequency of the ad in the magazine using the data given below. Readership of magazine A is 35,000, magazine B is 20,000, magazine C is 55,000. Duplication of A with magazine C is 3,000. Duplication of magazine B with A is 2,000. Duplication of magazine C with B is 4,000. Number of insertions of magazine A is 3, magazine B is 6, magazine C is 5. Now, first thing we do is we put down the numericals in a table that is easy for us to understand and solve. So question is in color on the top, and I've put down the details for you so that you can clearly see what you require. Now our formulae are average frequency equals to opportunity to see upon net readership. Now to get the average frequency, we need two other aspects, OTS and net readership. So the formula for that is net readership equals to readership minus duplication. Now if you follow the table, you will get the answer followed by OTS equals to readership into insertions. The full format I've given on the YouTube video. You can go and check it out. So we finally use our average frequency formula, which is OTS upon net readership, where we get the answer 5.49. You also have the option of answering question 2C, which is a theory question in case you do not know how to solve the numericals. However, I repeat, the videos are available. Study the numericals, they give you full marks. The theory question will not give you full marks, and it's a very lengthy question. You will waste a lot of time. So ideally, answer the numericals. They are more scoring too. Question 3A is usually explain the concepts, which carries 8 marks. So you explain 4 concepts and you write the note, which is discuss the factors affecting choice of newspaper buying, which will carry 7 marks. You also have an option within this question. So you have again question 3A, explain concepts, GRP, pay-per-click, BARC, real-time bidding, and part B, where you discuss retargeting or remarketing. Now, when you're answering these, please see that you answer the concepts in the short note of the same AB. Do not mix the two because you lose marks that way. So question 3A and both the questions, part A and B, which means 8 marks and 7 marks, solved together. Question 4 of your theory, answer the following. Again, you have an 8-7 or an 8-7. Do not mix the two. Answer them with their components. So the first set is write a note on SEO, which is for 8 marks, and advantages and disadvantages of newspaper buying for 7 marks. Or write a note on NCCS, or the new consumer classification system, for 8 marks, and write a note on media mix, 7 marks. Question 5, write short notes on any three. They are 5 marks each. So you can choose whichever three you know properly. and attempt those. You have media objectives, advantages and disadvantages of television advertising, media audit, transit advertising, and ABC, Audit Bureau of Circulation. So you can choose whichever three you want to answer. This is the format that you will get in your board exam too. So read your questions clearly, each question on a new page. And as I mentioned earlier, I prefer to start with question 2 and then move to the theory questions. And finally, solve the case study, which is for 15 marks. The reason why I say answer the case study last is because it takes a little time and you need time to think, analyze, and then put down your thoughts. Another thing to keep in mind is a maximum of 20 minutes per question, which will give you enough time to complete your paper. If you finish before 20 minutes, very, very good. In fact, the numericals you can finish in like 10 minutes. Okay, but if you need to take your own time, keep a maximum timer of 20 minutes per question, and that way you will finish your paper on time. Okay, let's look at the case study. Create a media plan for Tata Altroz racer cars in the price range of 10 to 60, rather 17 lakhs. Schedule for 2 months. Ads are in color. Budget is 3 crores. So here we have the table that will be given to you in the paper. The table will vary. This is just a sample for you to understand. So on one side, you have the dailies, you have the readership and the rate, followed by the magazines, the readership and rate. Again, readership is given in thousands. Rate for newspapers is in square centimeters. Rate for magazines is full page color. Firstly, you will start by writing the demographic and psychographic profile of the target group. Draw the table in the format that is shown in this video. So you will see the format coming up. Write down the names of all the newspapers followed by the names of all the magazines in the first column that you have. For you to just refer, I've given you the CPM formula. CPM or cost per thousand equals to cost of ad unit into thousand upon readership. So here, as I mentioned, you need to draw the table where you have the vehicles, the cost per thousand, the size. From size, we mean one page, half page, etc. Number of insertions, the amount, reasons for vehicle selection or non-selection. There's a full video on how to answer the case study, but we'll just go through this one here also. Vehicles, firstly, once you've put down all the vehicles, quickly find the CPM. I just shared the formula with you. This has to be done for all vehicles. You then decide which vehicles are most relevant to you and fill in the other columns. Now, the reason why I have not solved it is that each one of you may have a different point of view when selecting your media vehicles. So you have the freedom to choose the media vehicles you want to choose as long as you give us a justified reasoning for selection of that particular media vehicle. Some tips to remember: select the most appropriate newspapers and magazines based on the rules of buying print media. Decide the number of insertions for each of the selected newspapers and magazines. Calculate the amount for each of the selected newspaper and magazine and don't exceed the budget. Ideally, a 5% up or down is allowed, but try and keep it as close as possible to the budget given to you. Give reasons for selecting or not selecting, that is, rejecting every medium, so every newspaper and every magazine. Prepare the 2 month schedule only for newspapers. So you have week one, because it's a 2 month campaign, you have 8 weeks. So prepare this table and just put down the newspapers that you have used. You do not need to do this for magazines. Things to keep in mind: demographic and psychographic profile of the product or service, which should match the demographics and psychographics of the newspaper or magazine. Select those newspapers or magazines whose readership is substantially higher. Select those newspapers or magazines whose CPM is comparatively lower, which means the cost per thousand is lower. Select those newspapers or magazines which give good combination rates. Select those newspapers or magazines which match the geographic selectivity. So, wherever you're advertising, the product you're advertising, do not select similar newspapers or magazines as duplication will be high. Do not select newspapers or magazines if prestige of the product or service does not match with the prestige of the vehicle. So, this is where you need to use your mind and do a fine job. Hope you have understood how to solve the media planning paper. Thank you for watching this presentation. Do like, share, subscribe, and leave your comments about this presentation or any other topic you would like to learn more about.